Rumors are true. Names that are legendary. StockLegends.com.
Hey everyone, StockLegends.com here. Congratulations to all our followers who got in BMSPF, which we alerted on November 23rd, and it's up over 44% on over 2 million shares traded. But stay tuned because we think the stock is further to run next week, which brings me to how important it is for everyone watching this to be getting Stock Legends alerts. First things first, pause this video and go to StockLegends.com. And on the front page, you need to sign up to the Twitter feed right here, join the conversation, and if you scroll down a little bit further, you can put in your name and email address here to make sure that you guys are getting all our information and are getting informed on the Stock Legends alerts, because you guys are missing out on serious money if you're not following us. Let's go back to the technicals here. I know everyone is wondering what is going on BMSPF. And if this is still a good time to get in, or if this stock still has further to run. So I'm going to show you two charts. If you saw my last video, you're looking at a weekly chart. This time I'm going to show you the daily chart, and I'm going to briefly go over the weekly chart as well to give you a short-term and long-term perspective. So what we're looking at here, it seems like a lot of sideways movement that's happening in this stock. From 006 was a recent low. Actually, we're as low as 0032 back in February, March of this year, and a high of 5.5 cents or 5.7 cents, which is just being displayed on the weekly chart. So right around 5.5 cents was a recent high. Looks like the stock could be getting back up there. So we've got some resistance up in this particular area that we may want to pay attention to, but it doesn't look like we have much resistance. Other than that, we had some resistance here at 3 cents, which we've broken above. We hit a high here of 3.9 cents, closed at 3.8 basically on Friday. So we still have room to go. There's no resistance until we get to the 5.5 cent area. Very likely we can hit that mark. Now, looking at our MACD, which can give us buy and sell signals, it'll tell us what direction our trend is on. And if we just pay attention basically from September, you can see that it was giving a buy signal when these lines are pointing upwards and the green signal line is above the red line, suggests the stock is in a positive trend. And when they cross over, it can indicate that a consolidation or correction is occurring. So what we can do, we can also coincide these crossover points with our trend line. So if we draw a blue line, which we're going to call support, along all our low points, you can see that it's acting the same. You can see these lines basically touch a few times, but they never cross over. But when we break our support, you can see that the MACD lines cross over to the downside, indicates a consolidation period. We were traded as low as a penny, held that support area, so we'll draw a little mini support right around this particular level. And basically sideways consolidation. You can see that the MACD lines, this consolidation didn't last too long, just about a week or two. And we had another crossover point where the MACD lines crossed over to the upside, and you can see a new rising trend occurs here. So we've got some low points, basically another sort of upward trend, something like we saw before. And you can see the MACD lines, although they've touched a few times, they haven't crossed over, and currently they're pointing upwards, which is a very positive sign. We've had very explosive volume here. Now if we take a look at what we saw back here, you can see that we had big volume come in back in early June, where we traded as high as nearly 3 million shares on one trading day, and a lot of volume was happening on the stock. You can see it ran basically straight up for about over a week when it ran to the 5.5 cent area, and the RSI gave us an overbought signal around 85. So we can look to something like that again. Now that volume's coming back in the stock, we can probably suggest that we could see a similar magnitude run, and we would possibly get overbought when RSI hits 85. Currently it's at 61. So right there says the strength in the stock still has room to run up, and it's certainly not giving an overbought signal, certainly not at this time. So it does suggest that we very likely can come back up and test the 5.5 cent area, as there is no price resistance above 0.038, which is basically where we closed, or 0.039, which is basically we've only built a little bit of resistance over the last 2 days. Had a very nice move on Wednesday, Thursday was a holiday. Friday, a nice sideways consolidation. Getting ready for another big move on Monday. Love this chart. Okay, let's go back to the weekly chart. Some of you may have already seen this one before. And I'm going to go over this one quite quickly. And as you can see, the volume is increasing over the past few weeks. Each one of these candles is 1 week in trading length. Now, what's interesting to note is that each of our low points, we basically have a nice run and then a consolidation and another run and a consolidation. And now we're on the third run in the last 2 years. Now, what's interesting to notice is that every low point is higher and every high point is also higher. So the last high point, around 5.5 cents, suggests that the third high point is probably going to be above that even. Now, if we take a look at our channel, it doesn't look like we have any resistance here until the 5-6 cent area. So again, that's also coinciding with the daily chart where we won't see any short-term resistance until about the 5.5 cent area. If we take a look at our tricks, which is another momentum indicator we can use, I chose the tricks over the MACD just because it seemed to give more fluid buy and sell signals coinciding with the trends that we've seen in the past. So where those crossover points were more accurate, we're going to use the tricks again on this chart, and you can currently see that this is also still pointing up. So the weekly chart looks bullish. The daily chart looks bullish. I think we're going to have a great week next week. Thanks very much for watching, and don't forget to sign up for Stock Legends alerts if you have not already done so. Until next time, and happy trading.